I would like to preface this video by saying that if you are a clear supporter or follower of the Manosphere mindset, please click off of this video because this video is in no way, shape, or form a support of such a mindset. I don't really support that mindset, but I'm not exactly rejecting it 100%. I want to try and understand it. As a man, I want to try and understand it and comprehend it. If you're not clicked off the video yet, I am more so a feminist. I'm more so on that side of the spectrum because I realize that feminism doesn't just equally impact women in a good way; it also impacts men in a good way. But yeah, if you haven't clicked off the video, that means you must actually agree, or actually want to watch this thing all together to the very bitter end. So here are my opinions and my own personal understanding of the manosphere. Now, first of all, the manosphere is more so let's say, a type of mindset that is meant to cultivate masculinity among the minds of younger men who have felt trapped, isolated, alone, who felt like, the whole world is against them, don't really feel all that good. But, I can see why so many men just like fall for this type of mindset. I'm not going to say it's a trap, I'm going to say it's a mindset because, like we are, particularly society, as a society, men have been conditioned from a very young age that to be a man, you have to conform to such social gender norms and gender structures and all that. It's like if you're a man, then you have to be tough. You have to be strong. You have to be brave, courageous. You have to be like this, like that. You have to be like one of the biggest men you've ever met, biggest mother first you've ever met. But what if you're a man and you are not any of those things? What if you're not strong? You're not brave. You're not courageous. You're not, what was that, tough? What about that? Are you still a man? Well, of course you are. You're still a man. But, many people would say, hell no. Get out of here. You're no man. You're just a wuss. And it's so, I realize now it is so absolutely degrading, so horrible, that so many of the insults that men have for one another are all girl related. Oh, what are you, a girl? What are you, a lady, a woman? What are you gay or something like that? And again, these are small things, but not only does this ruin a man's perception of those people, LGBTQIA plus people and women, but it also makes them feel lower because you've already set the mindset in these men that women and gay people and all that are like of a lower specimen compared to men. So when you call them that, you are effectively calling someone a lower specimen. And it's understandable why so many men fall for this trap of not the trap, the mindset of this manosphere. Because it's like, for all of your life, you have been called a nerd, a loser, nothing but something to be ashamed of. You compare yourself to these other men. They're all strong, brave, tough. They can lift weights. They play sports. They probably, they're amazing. And you can think to yourself, oh man, like these guys, they're so amazing. And I'm out here, I'm like, I'm nothing, dog. I'm nothing, man. That's why so many men fall for this mindset. It's you raise these men to believe that they're nothing. they're nothing. You know, you make them believe that they have to conform to these types of ideals and mindsets that when they don't, they eventually end up being absolutely nothing, of no value whatsoever. So I think that the manosphere is so popular because it reinforces these ideas, you know? It reinforces these ideas of traditional toxic masculinity, and you know, it wraps them around in a gift box that's especially targeted towards these men who are, let's say, very, very insecure. And it lures these people, these insecurities. It doesn't make them any better. It just makes them worse. You're not making those insecurities go away. You're just turning men into like assholes, into douchebags. And let me tell you, man, it ain't right. It is not right. Like, what the heck, dude? Like, if you're a man and you have a problem, let's say you're getting bullied, you're getting beat up, dude, like, just tell your parents. Just tell someone you love. Just tell someone you know and love. And if you don't have one, don't write it in a notebook or something. I don't really know. But oh my gosh, yeah, that that is also a problem. Why so many men are falling into this manosphere thing is because men have been so conditioned to loneliness, to isolation, to not telling anyone how they feel. Because if you tell people how you feel, then you're not tough, you're not brave, you have feelings, you feel sadness, and instead of nothing but pure anger and happiness. Well, are you even a real man at all? Like, that is even worse. That's why we have to create a society that is like willing to listen, to just listen with an open heart to men. And the problem is the fact that so many men are also are treating other men this way. If if all of us men simply said, all right, look, I'm willing to listen with an open heart. I'm willing to not judge. I'm willing to love, and I'm willing to just understand. I'm not here to make fun of you. I'm here to listen. I'm here to simply comprehend your situation. And I'm here to give advice. Or maybe sometimes maybe not even advice, just someone you can listen to. Just someone for you to depend on. If you want something to say, I'll just listen. Dude, like, you would not need the manosphere. You would not need that if every man in this world was just willing to listen to each other, to just say, hey, how do you feel? We wouldn't have this manosphere if men were just allowed to be vulnerable, to be open about how they feel, about their emotions. We wouldn't have the manosphere if men weren't always meant to conform, aren't always meant to conform to these societal expectations, these societal norms. Like, dude, come on. We don't need it. Manosphere, it's not good, but it's sort of understandable why a lot of men start to believe in it. You know, like, the hardest thing about being a man is trying to be open, be vulnerable. I would say that as a fellow man myself, that's one of the hardest things of all time, you know, because as a man, you're kind of expected to just people to judge you quickly and immediately, for people to think, oh man, this guy, he is not tough. He's not cool. He's not a man, and that hurts. That hurts because, like, you build your whole identity around wanting to be a man, being a true man from the very day that you were born. So to be like eventually, like when you're in your teen years, like 13, 14, 12, 11, whatever. That's a lot of times when you first feel that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm probably not worth much. And no, that's not true, dude. You're worth a whole lot, or very much a whole lot. And like, yeah. So for all the men watching this video, and I know it's probably a man because most of my audience, I checked the statistics, are nearly all men. For the women watching this as well, which make up around, I think, 10-20% of my audience. Um, let's treat the men with a little more compassion. Let's treat each other with a lot more compassion from now on. Let's be better, be nicer, be kinder, be more loving to each other. Let's allow ourselves to be more open, more vulnerable, and not expect to conform to societal norms. Someone tells you you're not a real man, just like tell them to shut the fuck up. They don't know that. They don't know what they mean. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it's kind of it. You have to be more vulnerable, more open, because in such a way you'll be a lot more happy. Yeah, that's about it for this video. I just really wanted to make this video because I've been thinking a lot about it yesterday. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a good night. This is Pinem, signing off.